1 minute slow. Coming to order. Approval of agenda. You should give them out and they're gonna sign them.
No, they're all here. I'm not used to it.
Yeah,
Can I
next
have
time.
a mover and this? Chambers and seconder. Be it resolved that the Council of Prince Township hereby approves the agenda dated February 8th, 2022, and any addendums as presented.
Questions? All in favor? Carried. Any disclosures of interest? None. Minutes of the previous meeting. Move seconder.
Be it resolved that the Council of Prince Township hereby approves the minutes of the following meetings as presented, amended, regular meeting of January 11th, 2022, special meeting of January 31st, 2022.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, questions and information arising out of the minutes? None? Okay, no petitions or delegates. Staff report, fire chief report. Mover, seconder.
Be it resolved that the Council of Prince Township accept the fire chief report dated February 4th, 2022 as information.
Questions? Steve, you there?
He's not here. They have a meeting tonight with the fire marshal, him and
Okay.
Brian.
Okay, no questions? Heard the resolution, all in favor? Carried.
Aye.
Okay. CEO's treasurers and revenue report. Mover, seconder.
Seconder, Council Chambers. Be it resolved that Council of Prince Township approve the revenue and expenditure report for January 2022.
Questions? Councilor Matthew?
Under the expenditure report, there's, I don't see a quote for the Starlink internet service.
Starlink Internet.
I believe that's a monthly cost.
You don't see a check for them?
I just don't see where there's an amount.
It'll be under our regular provider rate until we,
It may not have been paid this month. Like it may not have been on this check run.
Oh, okay, because it is a monthly charge.
Mhm.
All right, just for the, if I can just follow up, what is the monthly charge?
I think
When we
it's
do
on
pay?
that
Ballpark.
140 some maybe,
That's good.
I think, or some, it's on that chart.
Oh, yeah. right,
Yeah.
All right, we'll find maybe on that. All right, thank you.
Mhm.
any other questions? All in favor? Carried.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry. I'm just catching up here, Heinz. And I forgot to bring up as the liaison for the fire department that Sister Leslie Cassiamadio, up to 30 years, is called it a career.
Mhm.
And she's going to be staying on having certain of it. But I can maybe bring it up at another meeting, but I'd like to make known that as a council, we would like to extend to her something on behalf of us and Prince for all the years of service.
I think you're correct. The council should have something to present her for all the years of service, and she stuck to the good times and the bad times, and now the good times, so. Councilor
I'm
Matthew?
sorry about that. I'm sorry, I'm just behind the step, and thank you for your patience. But
No, we have to look at that. I've been thinking about it all along too, so.
good, I don't want to let that go by.
No, I'll sit down with the CEO and see what we can come up with and present to council and the council decide, she'll send an email or something. I don't know what to do. But it should be half decent. Go ahead, Councilor Matthew.
Yeah, it's exemplary service, and I seem to recall 2 or 3 years ago, we presented her with a plaque, and we had Mr. Sheehan come up and did it himself, and there was a little bit of a spiel there. We we may have known at that time that she was a very valued member.
Mhm.
When was that long ago?
Oh,
That was a 25-year, I believe.
yeah,
Oh, thanks, Marguerite.
There we go.
now she has over 30 and she's retiring out of the police service, but she's staying on first response,
She's retiring and what?
the fire department.
Oh, the police service.
Police
Oh, she
service.
police service?
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
fire
so, but
service.
she's staying.
Staying on first
Oh,
response.
okay, okay. Oh.
Again, thank you for bearing with me. I'm just new. I'm just trying to keep
Oh,
keep up. Thank
that's
you very
okay.
much. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate that.
Okay, that's a good thing to bring up. Okay. Report on COVID stream funding and projects. Then move in a second on that, I guess, before we read it, before we talk about it. Mover, seconder? Seconder? Fingers.
Be resolved that the council of Prince Township accept the CEO treasurer's report on the ICIP COVID funding.
Does anybody have any questions you want to say on this, or?
I'm happy to do that.
I have a concern on this. That first of all, it never came to council, should have came to council. This wasn't approved by council.
This is new to me.
Yeah,
Mr. Mayor.
it never ever did come to council, that it was, the staff put the project in and should have, I don't know how it was approved, we should have had a resolution with it, but it didn't. My concern is the door overhang. That will never cover the cost anyway, because you're putting an overhang over a door in a municipal building, which will need an engineer report. If you can't do it, you won't be able to do it. Engineer report is gonna cost $20,000, it's not covered by grant. In my opinion, I think it's gonna look ugly. You got a flat roof building and you're gonna put a canopy out there, a square canopy. There was an idea when COVID was going on, and if you stood in line up, you would get all the weather, but the COVID situation's coming to an end soon, I hope, and we really don't need to spend the money. I guess you didn't look if we could spend it anywhere else, eh, this
We
money?
can't, no,
Okay,
if we don't spend
but
it.
If we had, but it was good, it's gonna be $20,000. You'll need an engineer report. You'll need a higher,
That project, part of the project will happen.
but it's gonna cost money to hire an engineer or to get a
But
price.
we don't have to take the whole thing as a lump sum.
No,
So if we can't do that part of the project, we don't do that part of the project. So,
we can do everything else.
yes.
Yeah, I recommend not doing the door because you'll have to dig pillars down into sonotubes into the ground, both front and back. You need 4 of them sticking out of the ground and posts the roof on it. It's bad not having an old building that's not nice as an architect building, but if you put a roof on, 2 things like that, it's really gonna make it look terrible. It'd be like having that cell tower out there. So my recommendation is we don't do that project. Everything else looks great. And, they already have the curtains, which looks great. They did a great job on that. And anybody else have any comment?
Is this like a permanent thing? It'll be permanent or is it temporary?
What's that?
Which we're gonna build a covering in.
That's full permit.
I thought it was just an elements, to make sure of the elements thing.
Mm-hmm. Councilor Matthews?
Just a quick clarification on the reception renovation. I think I have a handle on everything else. What's the reception renovation?
Go ahead.
I believe what they had discussed doing was putting a door at the end of this hallway here, because right now it's not accessible for wheelchair except for that table. And then we can extend the counter over to the side and it'll be low and accessible. It's just, yeah, the door will just kind of be moved forward here and that doorway will be opened up a little bit
They
to
wanna-
fit a wheelchair in there.
and if you go in the hallway, the
Yeah.
door goes, they'll put a
Go
door.
down the hall to your office or turn left to go into Lorraine's.
Right,
That whole hallway will be opened up, that door will, where to go to
So
the
that
mains.
hallway's coming out and then the door just stops here.
The door will be right here, and that door to go into Lorraine's area, like to go into the main office right now will come out, and it'll be all open, so that the wheelchair, and then the counter, you know how we open it now to go in? The counter will go down there for the wheelchair accessibility.
I'm sorry, Mr. Matthews, but I have to agree with you. It's a lot of
once
cash.
you started, then I remember what it was.
That's a lot of cash. Take it on a wall and put up a door, personally.
Well,
I don't know, I think, because we don't even really have to take the wall, we could leave like the bulk, like leave like a, what do you call it? Like a, you know. how
the
we have
wall's not a supporting wall. That was built for the office. It's not
It's a
supporting
partition
anything.
wall.
Yeah, it's just, so you could take that down and then do the, and
And then
drywall,
we just have to do the door.
and the door,
Yeah.
and then of course the counter. But if we could use some of that money off the overhead doors into it,
I can ask.
yeah,
We can switch it over, because we think it might be a little bit more expensive.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can do, make sure you, because it's gonna be nice, it's gonna be, like I said, it's wheels are accessible, they can come in the back door. Any other questions?
You'll see after, and you can get a better idea, yeah.
How much is plexiglass, square foot? Just curious.
I guess it's expensive.
Well, it's just that this money is being approved then, which is great, doesn't cost the township anything, I got that.
I love that.
Yeah, and it says for these projects. Now, do these projects, I guess you hit on it a little earlier, do these projects have to stick to that price? Like, once you hit 20,000 or let's say, once you hit 35 for kitchen renovation, that's all you can spend on the kitchen renovation, or
This
is
time.
it still in the pool?
No, it has to be directly for that, yeah,
That
they ask for all the
amount for that.
invoices, and then if you don't meet the required price, then they'll ask for the money back.
Okay,
In the past, when you did projects like this, they let you move money around, as long as you're using it for the projects here.
yeah.
Because everybody changes their minds and everything.
Mr. Mayor, question to you, excuse me, Mr. Matthews, are we near, the pricing for the 30,000? Or maybe to Mary Lynn here on, the new kitchen and new cabinets and everything?
Yeah, that was the quote, and that's for the whole materials, and that was, I think it came in, was it 18 or something?
Yeah,
It came in, yeah, we got the quote beforehand.
So we're good, right?
Mhm.
we're good, we're gonna get, they're gonna buy new stoves for in there and
Oh.
the hood, so,
And that'll fall in under the renovation?
yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good job, you, whoever said that, I love it, really good.
yeah.
Right on.
Peggy and Lorraine did that. They
Excellent,
put that
Peggy and
all up.
Lorraine, or Mary Lynn or Peggy?
Peggy.
Oh, we're still getting her name, eh? Good. That's good, it's good. It's all good for the township, it's all for the
And
township.
Lorraine's here, so she's overseeing it and.
Good, good, and all for the constituents of Prince Township, and that's great.
Yeah,
The only thing is, to me, like, I didn't realize this wasn't brought to council for approval. I will bring my applications to council for approval before I send them out. I didn't realize that this didn't come for approval first.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
I wasn't on council
I didn't either. Cause it didn't come.
then. Yeah, but, Mayor, it's a grant that they have applied for
Mhm.
and received. Do they have to come to us for the 422 grants that they apply for annually?
Well, I mean, there may be a job that, I mean, I don't know, but
Every-
people you might think is more important than, I don't know.
Every grant we apply for, they usually ask for a resolution from council.
Usually they do, yeah, that's the other
Okay.
thing, they usually do ask for,
I'm
yeah.
learning, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it goes a long way if council's behind the grant.
Yeah, that resolution.
Yeah. Okay, good, thank you.
So you're gonna take, oh, do you have to take this out or?
Mhm. We'll just put,
Did we answer my
as
plexiglass
amended?
question?
Yes.
Whatever's going on in there.
Times more than they did 2 years ago.
Oh, I know, I just bought a piece for my wife's table.
Can I have a?
I just didn't get an answer for my plexiglass barriers.
Oh, you wanna know the cost of it?
No, it says $10,000 for plexiglass barriers. Do we have them now?
Yes.
Are they here?
Yes,
And how
they're-
many did we get?
Some of them, I think the library still isn't done yet.
yeah, but most of them are off. they're in the office up, if you go in there, and the library's got the one up yet, if it's not up yet. We need to vote on the amendment that we're taking out the, what do you call it?
Overhangs?
Overhang out? All in favor? Carried. Okay, now we're past that.
Okay. Be it resolved that the Council of Prince Township accept the CO Clerk Treasurer's report on the ICIP COVID funding as amended.
Oh, hang on. All in favor? Carried. Okay. No planning, no bylaws, no notice of motions, correspondence. GFL recycling program. Okay. Got your paperwork?
This is what they sent us as a response to our questions.
Yeah. I guess the rules, they gotta be a certain place.
Is,
Councilor Matthew, do we have a resolution on this?
No, this is just correspondence, yeah.
did we get an answer back to the letter? I know we were going to send a letter about our last minute, said we were gonna send a
Oh,
formal
no,
letter out saying not where to pick the carts up from, but where to put the carts back to. And also elaborating on if the cart is empty, when it gets wiped out by a plow, it would not be that person who put it there. Well, it would be the person who put it there.
I'm really confused now.
Well, you say, yeah, but they've been good. I've been watching them, because they used to pick, I had mine in the right place, they pick it up and used to leave it on the road. Somebody must have talked to them, because it's going back right where I left, where it was, and all along.
Mine didn't even mark in the snow. I had to open my top, Mr. Mayor, to make sure it was empty. It was bang on.
Yeah, they've been, the guys, they must have had to talk with the operators, and they've been good.
Thank you, ladies in the office, for the calls, or Mr. Mayor.
I just thought that was funny.
Will we send this out to, or put this on?
The
our
website, yeah.
Or something.
Oh, good idea.
For people, just so they're reminded.
Put on our faceplate.
Yeah.
Any,
Something, right? So,
Oh,
any questions on the correspondence?
that's great idea.
well, that, and it's got GFL's phone number on there, so.
Awesome, yeah.
They can call.
Listen, they want to work with us, they don't want to work against us, but they also have, we talked last meeting there, about the driver I talked to. He has like from Walls Road to Base Line. to
No,
do
that's the
from
grant. I
8
just wondered if anybody had any
Oh,
ideas.
Excuse me. This,
Sorry, Mr. Mayor.
this grant, does anybody have anything on this grant that they sent out on accessibility?
If anybody has any ideas or suggestions, you could just send me an email.
Only suggestion I came up with. Go ahead, Councilor Matthew.
Well, I was just suggesting that, again, with the timeframes when we get these are always so tight.
Tight.
So to have a meeting once a month, maybe it's hard for constituents, I would think, to get to their counselor. This would be another thing to put on the website if we have that capability, when we get these things. So that people that would be affected by this could then get back to the counselors.
We could send this out to the counselors or, the only thing I can see on this one is I have a handicap accessible washrooms down there. And we applied for a grant to pave it down the driveway in front of the pavilion and into the washroom. That would be easier for a wheelchair.
What about the man down there?
It's got a walkway already.
It's got accessible washroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a wheelchair accessible. And ours, so I don't know, when is this gonna be in?
By March 3rd. Is that the one you're talking about, the accessibility, it's March 3rd, I think? The application has to be in, Mr. Mayor. Sorry.
Yeah, March
Sorry,
3rd.
Mayor, I need to talk.
Okay. I
What
can't
do you
speak.
think of that? I don't, you think it might be slippery? Well, they wouldn't be using with wheelchairs in the wintertime, but in the summertime, it would be, they park there and it'd be easy for the wheelchairs to go down the driveway in front of the pavilion and into the washrooms with wheelchair accessible. If we can find
of getting people to come together. And as a proactive council, which I believe we are, I think that there should be a paved sidewalk that has a slope to it that follows the guidelines for wheelchair accessibility. And yes, it would be great to have an area where they can be there, be with everybody, and not have to come all the way back up here. Because sometimes the community center is not open when the pavilion's having functions. So I think that's a good idea, Ken, that you say, getting that paved and cleared, and maybe making having a community day and everybody sit and just get the cement poured and.
it'll be blacktop, but.
Yeah.
I can get a price. I
Yeah.
can see if they can come give me a price.
What do you think,
Councilman?
For the largest area you can, eh?
Yeah, well, the whole driveway going down in front of the pavilion and up to the parking lot, because you ever try to push, it'd be a lot easier pushing a wheelchair up a paved driveway,
Absolutely.
and then of course the walkway.
And that would fall in with them area in that grant
Yep, up to 60,000.
up to, okay, so you don't have to spend it all. It would like be not that much, Mr. Mayor. to
No.
That area.
Well, they'd have to dig it out.
You do the digging, the prep and all that,
Yeah.
yeah. Curious, yeah.
It's pretty good. It's all sandy ground. When we built that driveway in there, we got it prepared just in case we ever did pave it.
I'm all for inclusion and getting the handicaps to be a part of our,
Yeah,
because as you said, there we are getting older, even if it's not a wheelchair, it's a
Seniors,
walker.
seniors, yeah.
Seniors, yes, let's get them all included.
and if it's not too bad, maybe we can get behind the hall here where that wooden work there and pour it in there too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, for sure, as I was thinking the largest area possible, because even like what you have now with the bathrooms, but with that large field that we have over beside the town hall. Even if it went down a little ways there, in case you had like the cars, we have the cars in the summer. At least a wheelchair could get as close as they could down to there, I mean, get the largest area you can.
I'll get prices and I'll look at the walkway behind the
Awesome.
building and whatever I'll phone tomorrow, see how many to rush on it. Okay. Street lighting? Street lighting.
I can't call Riley Grant, eh, Mayor?
No.
Okay. It's a nice letter, thank you very much, Mayor, that's a great letter he sent you. I didn't hear anything about solar lighting.
They don't put solar lighting, PUC don't put solar lighting, their company.
I understand that. I just
It's
look at-
It's their poles too. We need permission from them to put a light on their poles. And probably the high cost would be what it charges, because we'll have to put, transformers on the poles for the lights. Because there's no lights there now. But we could save this for budget. This is information and we can get this is a budget item anyway. You can figure out, and then you're gonna ask how many lights you figure you wanted there, then we know how much it's gonna cost, and if it's gonna cost $50,000, that's 3%.
It's just such a range, Mr. Mayor, from 1,500 to 5,000.
Yeah, if it has a transformer on there, it's probably around 1,500. If you gotta put a transformer on there, you might as well say it's 5,000. And according to the letter, I read, if there's lights right there, you add another one, they could run it, but there's only lights at the corners.
Yeah, so I've been doing my reconnoitering.
And you would want the whole street lit up, so,
I want to go to baseline from walls to baseline, and from Gagne to the,
Gagne's already got lights.
yeah. I haven't done Mountain View and I haven't done Douglas yet.
Yeah. Okay, we'll save that for the budget time because it's gonna be a good price tag anyway.
Thank you for the letter, Mayor, appreciate it.
Minutes of the board meeting. Minutes of the community adjustment. Yeah, resolution one.
Mhm. Okay, mover in a second.
Mover seconder.
Be it resolved that the council of Prince Township hereby approves the minutes of the following meetings as presented amended. Committee of Adjustment meeting December 14th, 2021. Heritage Committee Museum Board meeting January 18th, 2022.
For the resolution, any questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay. Minutes of the Heritage Committee. Mover, seconder,
Oh, they're all the same.
We did that.
Huh?
They're all the same.
oh, they're on the same
Yeah.
resolution, oh. Sorry, you already
It's
passed it.
okay.
Any questions on this? I got a question. Council gives the museum board money to do repairs and everything. My question is, where did they get the $885? Did they take that money out of what was supposed to go to repairs of the buildings to buy the stable? No, on
We're just doing-
I know, I shouldn't have passed it, but we gotta talk about the heritage, I didn't know that was on the.
Oh, I see, okay.
Sorry about
Sure,
that.
okay.
It's on the heritage.
Just had to catch up.
It's on the minutes of, and I got, the question I have on this minutes is they bought this table for $885. The township, over the years, give money to the museum for repairs and students for museum buildings. Did that money for this table come out of that fund? If it did, it should have came to council for permission. Council Matthew?
Doesn't the museum have a discretionary income in this budget that they passed of a certain amount? I don't know where the 885 come out, so I'm not trying to.
Well, their budget hasn't been approved.
But do they not have a discretionary income of a certain?
Well, when you do a budget, you're supposed to present it to council what you're spending the money on. And they shouldn't be spending any money on this budget or the funds from the museum if it's designated for.
That was last year's budget, I believe she bought.
Yeah, 2021, no?
So last year, I'm saying that money was given for the students or repairs for the buildings. If you're gonna spend that money that's not approved by council, it should have came to council.
I don't know if that's a tree you want to go off.
Yeah, I think it's a question you have to ask somebody.
Yeah, well, that's a question I gotta ask, but this council
I
chamber,
wouldn't ruffle that feather.
but this council chamber, my problem with this table is this council room's been here for over 20 years as a council room because we gave up the council chambers for the library. Now we have a big table in here and our tables. This is our council chambers until council passes a resolution saying we're gonna go outside and meet. Or whatever we're gonna meet, but this is our council chambers. This is, so,
It's a beautiful table.
oh, it's,
Getting the idea, what are we talking about? The table or the council?
well,
It's their table we're talking about. I'm saying their budget is a future,
that's not,
document.
that's not a budget, that's not,
you
the
put it,
table put the rest. I'm talking about this table being in our council chambers. You're
I
right,
don't see where that's on the-
well,
That's on the agenda
later on.
later on.
okay, we'll
Yeah.
talk about it later on.
Yeah.
Okay,
Did you let Enzo in?
No, he just joined.
Yeah, some people work till 7 o'clock at night now.
Okay. Okay, new business. Municipal food solution to food and cycle. Did you put a resolution for this?
I did.
And is there a mover and a second on this resolution?
Can we hear the resolution?
Sure. Just that we approve contacting Municipal Solutions at Food Cycle Science to gather more information on their program.
But how much, what, the township's gonna be responsible for collecting it? Waste, and then where's the township gonna do with it? We can't talk about it, that's,
Where are we?
we're on the new business, second page,
12.
municipal solutions and food cycle. If I can't get a mover in a second, we're not talking about it.
Here,
Yeah.
This is for information.
I've already gone past the wall.
Moved by Council Matthew. Is there a seconder on this? Is there a seconder on this?
Hi,
Okay. Yeah. sometimes
Be it resolved that the Council of Prince Township hereby approves contacting Municipal Solutions at Food Cycle Science to gather more information on their program.
Councilor Matthew?
As a mover, I just moved it to discuss it. But I believe I'd be all in favor of the presentation if they wanted to do on the council of unlimited nature, to whatever their. I mean, I'd be willing to hear them, if that's what they're asking.
Councilor Plumble, you want any comment on this?
no comment.
Anybody else?
I've met a couple people that have tried indoor composting themselves. And it didn't turn out well, and they had respiratory issues and everything from that. And
You have to pretty well take it outside, out every day, and,
Yeah.
and then if you're gonna put food and everything in a bin outside the door, you have bears and raccoons and everything.
You know more about it than I do. I don't know.
I do it. I do it.
Do you?
I do it, and I collect it, and I put it in my compost down by the garden, away from the house, and then, of course, the bins get knocked over, it gets torn all over the place, and in the spring, I have to clean it all up, but then I keep it and I put it in my garden again. But it'd be another expense for the township, if the township goes into it, because we're gonna have to collect it, and we're gonna have to have a place to store it.
Okay, I didn't get that in their letter, but if you found that out, then that's.
Well, I read
That
it,
doesn't sound good to me either.
I
All I got is them saying they wanted to do a presentation. And I didn't-
they wanna do a presentation, but they're not gonna pay for it.
Yeah. Well,
The city doesn't do it. So where do you put your compost waste?
I imagine they tell us if they came here.
Well, if you
I
want,
don't know.
you want a presentation from them, go for it. Okay, any other questions? You heard the resolution, all in favor? Defeated. Okay. Heritage Committee concerns. Okay, I need a mover and a seconder.
I need bigger font on some of these. I'm,
Sorry.
old. I can't see this small.
It's hard to get a good email.
Can I have a
printout.
seconder?
Did I move?
Hi,
Columbo. Be it resolved that Council of Prince Township agrees to use the main hall for council meetings.
Councilor Matthews first
Well-
moved it.
I didn't even see that in my package, that was a motion that we were looking at. I know I put that letter in there, but that was, let me just get it here. Is this request?
So Matthew,
Thank you very much. I just gave them a-
It's a little.
Because if you could just indulge me for a second, our request time book, the intent of the February 8th discussion will be to introduce the museum board's concern. And that is why I'm here. And now, with the board a vote to be held during the March 8th regular meeting to consider the use of the main hall for our council meetings instead of the museum. So what I was hoping that we would discuss it now, but not have the motion now, because that's my idea is the motion for the main hall.
Okay, well,
I
we
kind
don't
of
have to
hope
do
there
a
would be
resolution.
other representatives here of the committee. to
Well, you
discuss
can,
it.
you can defer this resolution.
Uh,
You can talk about it now and defer it.
I could talk for a few minutes on it, I guess. The idea of, the museum minutes earlier that we were looking at, they mentioned where, you mentioned summer students, you mentioned, State Museum classroom. Now, I'm reading this from the board minutes that we were looking at earlier, and approved as 12B. State of Museum classroom, council desks and chairs are left within the classroom following council meetings. In addition, cleaning products, cables, extension cords are openly stored throughout the room. It was the understanding that after council use, the room would be returned to its classroom state. Janitorial equipment and products should be stored within an assigned cupboard or closet. The chair will bring this to attention to the administrator. Now that was from their minutes of their meeting. After their meeting, there's just a little blurb here from Diane Marshall. If possible, I have a wrap-up Christmas cheer. When discussing our concerns with council, I believe we need to stress that the heritage and integrity of the classroom must be honored. We are most fortunate that we have the only example of a nerdy classroom in the area. Just as we respect and maintain our other entities, the resource center, the pavilion, the fire hall, we have the obligation to look after the classroom in the same manner. The heritage classroom should be neat and tidy at all times, and it goes on. So this is their concern, is that their area that they have taken on their responsibility, their grants, they clean it, this is what they do. And I really think the council should do what it can to support people in their interests, whether they want to do a library, whether they want to do anything that they bring to them. I know I did a play for an arch in the hall, and council was very supportive of that. Helped put it on and make it a success. I would like to think that council would be here to help the museum board and the heritage committee keep this classroom or their heritage room as they'd like to see it fit. And if it only means that we have to sit in the hall once a month for 3 hours to have a meeting, I didn't. So that's why I put that suggestion in there. Where, of course, by the sounds of it, they have their own concerns of just what's left here and what's not put away. If that could be addressed, perhaps they'd be happy with that. So, there are options.
Council Plumble, do you have anything to say? You second it.
No, I support Council Matthews.
Any other comments before I get mine?
Where's this table going that you're sitting at?
Well, I guess it's here.
Okay,
I guess I'll talk. The integrity of this classroom has been gone a long time ago. It's not a classroom anymore. If it was a classroom, we'd have the chairs back into place, and the carvings wouldn't be in here. This table definitely wouldn't be in here. The integrity of the classroom is gone. 20 years ago, we built the library down there, and council moved. They didn't want to go in the hall because it's because the hall's rented out, and it could be rented out on a council meeting. The council needed a place where they could, have a meeting. If we have an overabundant, a lot of people, we do meet in the hall. But this has been the council chambers for 20 years, and we can move. We don't need to leave the laptop here or the thing. But if we're gonna move in the hall, then these tables and chairs be in the hall all the time. Now you have to have 2 office staff every Tuesday to set up, and 2 to take it back down, because health and safety of these chairs and tables is heavy, and I wouldn't want to take the responsibility of somebody getting hurt. So you're taking hours out of the office staff. this museum is only open a couple months a year in the summertime as a student. So council uses this 12 months a year, and on special council meetings we have. So we use this way more than anybody else does. I figure we're gonna do this table, if we're gonna have a council meeting, but that's something we'll have to discuss. But if the museum needed a meeting place, the library board has a beautiful table in there with chairs where anybody that wanted to have a meeting, council can't meet in there, it's not big enough, but have a meeting that was already set up for meeting times. That's why the library did it, for groups that had meetings. But I myself, because I was been involved in, and they came in here because council should have at least half these in place, they call it council chambers. If you're gonna have a meeting, less council's gonna come over and set tables up every month or on a special meetings, and I used to do it when we have special big meetings, because the tables are heavy, and then you gotta figure out what you're gonna do with these tables.
I've never been in the basement here, but I'm sorry.
No,
Did I didn't put
Go
my
ahead.
hand down.
Put
I
your
didn't
hand
put my
down. Take care.
Sorry. I've never been in our basement, Mr. Mayor. How used is our basement?
They don't use it, they use it.
And how
for
big is our basement?
It would be perfect for council chambers, except it's not handicap accessible. That's why the library came out of there and went down there, because it's not handicap accessible. Unless you bust that door out, make a bigger walkway going down there with wheelchair accessibility.
So we have an actual space in our buildings that is not being used right now, that yoga and thing and exercise is not there
That
anymore?
they use it in the main hall. They do that Tuesday.
There's no, so the basement is not
They
used by
store,
anybody?
early on stores are excess of stuff and it never moves. It's just a storage area for,
I'd like to do a tour of that just for my own visual, so I
we can go down that thing.
can, I think about, something.
Yeah,
I'd like to just,
but you can,
I'd like to do that, yeah.
but it'd be nice for council chambers, but it's not handicap accessible at the moment.
That's easily remedied, Mr. Mayor. Can, put a monitor with a laptop that someone can sit in a handicapped area and watch.
Oh, no,
Oh,
no, that is, no, you're hindering their accessibility and that wouldn't be, no, they have to be able to be the same as everybody else.
Excuse me, I take that back, I'm sorry I said that, Marguerite. I didn't know that,
No, yeah,
so.
council chambers?
So when I'm reading this, it's like the museum saying they want it as a classroom, which they want these moved as well after every council meeting, so. We're moving tables.
But
We're gonna be moving tables.
we're not gonna move these.
It's only
after.
4 tables and 2 guys.
We're not gonna move, we're gonna say, if we say here that these
The
tables.
museum's open for 4 months, May, June.
No, they're only open 2 months. They're only open for when the students here.
And we're not in session in August.
Oh,
1 month. 1 month, we can take the chairs out, tables.
Yeah, I hear you. But I like
But clean it up and not have stuff lying around.
And when they have the museum open, we can take the chairs out.
easy, easy.
Yeah.
I'll volunteer to help move the 4 tables and.
Well, we won't need to do it till,
We'll show up.
middle of June. Middle of June, we can take them out, and then we can bring them back in August, middle of August. Comment, Councilor Colombo?
no, it's all good. Something good's gonna come out of this. I know it.
Okay. So, what's the resolution say? Councilor Matthews, go ahead.
My comment. Yes, I just wanted to point out, I would echo Ian's, Councillor Chambers' sentiments that the tables still have to come out. I mean, I heard
come,
I heard the statement from you that the tables and chairs need to be put away if we put them in the hall. Well, it sounded like we don't have to put them away if we leave them in the museum. So like you can't use it as an argument, not putting our stuff away,
he only,
is that this makes this a good place to use.
but not putting words out of his mouth, he's talking about when this is open to the public for the, as the students are here, we can take the tables and chairs out.
Yeah. So like the tables and chairs will still be taken down, whether they're in the hall.
Only for them, 2 months.
For those 2 months that the museum's here. And I'd like to get the museum's opinion on that.
Okay,
Excuse
so you
me.
want to refer this resolution?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, you heard the resolution, all in favor to defer
Right,
it? Carry. Oh, shit. Or, oh, no. I did right. One of the resolutions, I thought it was supposed to institute that's deferred. Okay. Okay. Internet.
yeah, internet.
Resolution. Mover and a seconder on the internet.
I'll move that.
Seconder?
Be it resolved that the Council of Prince Township agrees to continue internet service through wireless.com and to purchase the needed network upgrades from wireless.com for $33,2061 plus HST.
Councilor Matthews?
Well, yeah, I got something that. I would like to see the infrastructure put in. And I'd like to see it put in for the lowest tender amount of 27 rather than the 33. And just speaking on the infrastructure right now, not the internet provider.
Well, we're just doing the internet, not, we're just doing the internet now, the price of the internet, not network pricing.
Well, there's,
Right?
Yeah, they're both in the same resolution.
Oh, let's just talk about the internet right now.
okay, all right, so, okay, up that little higher, I can switch. So we have Starlink right now, and we have it for $149 a month. I have, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I have Starlink at home, and I know it's stellar. It can do what we're going to ask it to do for everyone in this building. We need the hardware to hook up everyone else securely, which as I understand it is 2,700 from one of the providers' quotes. And then we would hook up Starlink to it. And after the network pricing of 2,700 is covered, we're down to 149 a month that we're then sharing with whoever's hooked up to that network.
I got a price of 129 from Starlink.
Well, then 129, sure.
And
Maybe tax after that.
so you're saying, well, I agree. You're saying that the library should get a price, the library early on and the fire department.
Whoever wants to connect up to the Starlink with this network hardware stuff that we're gonna buy, that we need for security, but everybody stays separate. That is split.
Oh.
Those 3 people, 3,000 is 1,000. So these people, and this has to be taken to their boards for their own consideration, but let's say there is their share of, and I'm using generic like they and their right now because I'm not using, has to be taken to boards. Say they're looking at $1,000 as their share. Well, I would say they would continue to pay their very high internet rate right now, but to the township until their $1,000 portion is paid. And then they would go down to a prorated rate on just service.
The
Which is
library,
129 or
the
130.
library's grant money pays for, we already paying for the library anyway. We put that, but early on we're not, and the fire department right now has a grant that's paying for their internet. But we should get a price on what's gonna cost a month to have everybody hooked up. Before you pass it, should know what,
Well, you have, well, we've been, every meeting for quite a long time, we've been discussing this. And we have prices now from that will set up the network in the building securely so that, you know, people won't be able to get into other people's business. We have a Starlink satellite hooked up. It's got 200 megabytes a second on a good day or bad day. And we can hook up to that and have everybody running and a lot cheaper. I don't even want to total up how much we're paying for 3 different places, 4 different places doing internet right now per month. It's not right.
Council Chambers?
I think Mike's just saying the fire hall's gonna use this, and everybody's off the $129 a month.
I don't,
Once the infrastructure. Right, so once the infrastructure is done, everybody can all go off that $129 a month, rather than,
that's a good price, $129.
I believe we have the price for the infrastructure. Only we have 3 prices, quotes already. We just have to decide which one we want to have.
I didn't see the infrastructure here.
Network pricing, will the internet.
Oh, that's not the infrastructure. That's the network, that's the maintain our equipment.
Well, I think the
That's
difference
the
is services, wireless points, service.
That's the equipment to
That's
do
the
the
equipment
network,
to run.
to get all the networks in place, all 4 of us on separate,
Okay.
secure networks.
Yeah,
My only concern about the whole thing is service. Because right now, wireless.com is here in a minute when we need them, and I'm afraid we're gonna lose that if we go somewhere else. Because a lot of these places don't even answer when you call, or it's taken her a long time to get responses. And I see that stuff, how come, which I don't understand anything about speed, but their speed is down lower than wireless.com. That worries me.
for what, the straw?
Well, the Starlink, I say, I don't understand any of this, but the Starlink speed is lower. I believe, if you look in that orange box,
Yeah,
it says speed, wireless.com is up a little bit higher. Is that true?
no,
See up here? See,
But
their
data
speed is up
moving,
here,
Starlink.
whereas Starlink is down
200
here.
megabits.
well, we're here,
So,
here's the speed over here.
yeah, which I don't understand that. And Leanne put that in order, so I thought it was from strongest to lowest, but I'm not.
it's the other
Technically.
way. It's the other way.
It's the other way.
It's the other way. 10 megabytes per second on the wireless.com, and Starlink 100 is 200 megabytes per second.
10.
And I
So
can
it's-
vouch
it's
that.
10 to 20 years
Okay.
faster.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
I didn't
it's way
know,
faster.
okay,
It's way faster.
so that's the only difference, yeah.
Networking,
No, okay.
they all are in the Sault Ste. Marie area.
Algoma Business Computers, 2749.
Yeah.
I'm sure they can handle it.
Well, they're in the Sioux.
Yeah.
And they,
That's fine. Well, I don't know anything about this, I'm just
Well,
concerned about the service, but
well,
I would say, we have had enough meetings. We can have a motion to pick one of these network
Okay.
prices and have them come install it, and then we'll hook it up to whatever at the other end.
well, either Councilor Combo, Caputo, or Council Matthews can add that, put who we should have in there. We don't have anybody there now.
I've got wireless, so you want to go with,
Algoma Business
Algoma
Computers.
Business Computers
ABC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the network.
They can do it. It's not rocket science.
And then, and so Starlink for the wireless. Okay, so we're on Starlink right now.
Yeah.
But we're not with Starlink? We're with wireless.com.
Right.
Does that mean that they're like a subcontractor?
Because they piggyback.
Is that a
Piggyback.
subcontractor? What is that?
Sorry,
Is that what that means?
to my understanding, don't quote me on this, please. To my understanding, wireless piggy banks off their infrastructure.
So we would be going right to the main source rather than going through a middleman.
Again, don't quote me on that. That's what I understand.
You'll have to get a hold of
Is
Starlink.
that what everybody?
Well, okay, I understood that only because of what I was told, that we had Starlink. Apparently, we don't.
We do, but it's through
there a dish on the roof?
wireless.com.
It's through wireless, yes.
It's like a sub provider, maybe?
There you go.
Like, I
That's it.
guess?
That's it, I think.
Is that the word?
Yes.
Subdivider.
Starlink, but it's a different provider.
Who gets the bill from Starlink?
Wireless.com
Okay,
sends
well,
us the
there's
bill.
Starlink.
Yeah.
Well, it comes in for $1.29, $129, we don't care who runs it. Okay, Jamie?
Didn't realize we were voting on something like this thing, but I have a conflict of interest.
Oh, okay. All right.
On the
If I
service.
can just add, so is it Starlink that piggybacks off of Bell Canada?
No.
Because to
No.
my understanding, last meeting we were at, we discussed internet service. Bell Canada had set up their infrastructure on our tower.
Right.
Five.
This is not wireless. This comes from a satellite.
Yeah, the Bell put 5 on it.
Okay, so it's not off of Bell then.
No.
Okay,
So we're gonna stick with Starlink and Agoma.
Sound good to me.
Yeah.
Anybody else got objections?
Okay. Well, yeah,
Um,
read the resolution.
What do you think, Councilor Blundell?
I'm not tech savvy with all this computer stuff, but my way of thinking is, as a township, we have been talking about it for many years, and we know that what our residents are looking for is for good service for wireless internet. And it's Bell Canada that's the almighty that provides that service. And I'm always cautious with who we're dealing with when it comes down to this kind of infrastructure. Because if we're wanting Bell Canada to come to us, I'm just the believer that we should be dealing with Bell Canada. But to my understanding this evening, we cannot deal with Bell Canada because they don't offer what these other companies can offer us. Is that correct?
They're offering us fiber optic from the tower, hardwired.
Then why would that's the best to have. Why would we not have that in our home?
It's $700 a month,
$750.
$750
But
a month.
yeah, but if we want the Cadillac, you have to pay for the Cadillac. I mean, I know it's expensive. We can't expect to have wireless for a cheap rate without having issues. We're going to be dealing with these other companies. But I personally, I think in today's day and age, that's the way we should be going. That's where it's all at. That's what we want here. That's what we want in our township. We should be starting right in our town hall.
Council,
So for $9,000 a year, that would be at $750 a month. I don't mean to be cautious, but Bell kind of sort of has us. They can name a price, and we have to accept it. And that's because we have no other way of getting any other providers in here right now. And it's all because of Bell and their pollage fees and their criteria that they ask for and what they require for each telephone pole coming into Prince Township. Am I wrong, Mr. Mayor?
right now, nobody's running any internet on poles anymore. They're all going wireless. So that's why they're going either satellite or wireless. Leapfrog is going wireless. ExploreNet is putting a tower, they're going wireless. Bell Canada just put a tower, wireless on this tower, and they have one at the Polish Beach, and they will have one in Carter. And they're talking about putting another tower for the residents of Prince Township this year for wireless. This township will not get fiber optics on our poles.
No,
ever again.
thank you.
Well, I've heard that, and I'm not knocking anybody here, but I've heard that more than once that Prince Township won't be getting fiber optic. But I've learned that Duberville has fiber optic, Wawa has fiber optic. All these communities in the middle of nowhere where all that fiber optic had to come via Sault Ste. Marie. I don't understand why these smaller communities that are in the middle, or that are, I shouldn't knock them down in the middle of nowhere, but they're way farther up north than where Prince Township is, which is right next door to Sault Ste. Marie. It doesn't add up to me. It just doesn't add up. Sorry. But they have Duberville. Duberville has fiber optic in their township.
Councilor Matthews?
I think we have the perfect solution here with Starlink because it's been tested and it works. Personally, I've had experience with it for over 1.5 years, so I know what can do the bandwidth that's required. We have 3 quotes already. We've had at least 4 council meetings in a row talking on internet service providers. I think we're in good shape to go with having the hardware infrastructure put in the building and hooking it up to Starlink. That's my opinion.
Okay. No more questions? I'll read it. Moved by Councilor Caputo, second by Councilor Matthews, be resolved that this council of Prince Township agrees to continue internet service to wireless.com.
We're gonna start that out, and we're
Yeah,
gonna have internet service
to Starlink.
through Starlink and to purchase needed network from Algoma Business Computers. 2749.92.
Sorry, if I can just add one last thing, please.
Go ahead.
I have to agree with what Mary, our CEO, has indicated. One thing I think Mary should be looking into is to ensure that we're going to receive the service that you're receiving today. Because what we don't want is our office being down for a lengthy time in comparison to the kind of service, the type of service you're receiving right now.
Okay.
We have to have the service. There's always issues with computers, always. Networking, sorry.
Thank you. Okay, I'll read it. Be it resolved that this council of Prince Township agrees to continue internet service with Starlink and purchase the needed network upgrades from Algoma Business Corporation. All in favor? Carried. Okay.
It always comes up again, Mr. Mayor, no, to revisit this again and change if we had to.
Down
or
the road,
something
if
better.
if we don't like the services or down the road, you can always bring it up again. Go ahead, Council.
Well, I'm sure, I can say on behalf of the museum board and the library board that, I was just on the Parent-Child Resource at their last committee meeting. And, they've asked me at the last 2 meetings going on for the last 2 months on this, and I'm gonna be glad to be able to go to the next meeting and let you know that we have a resolution. Okay.
We're gonna get Revealing Q hooked into this too, eh? Revealing runs their internet cameras off of this service. It's not very good up there, so we'll have to get that fixed too. We're gonna put it in Revealing, because we need internet up there for our cameras that take shadow pictures.
So what do you mean
We need wireless up there.
You need internet to run the camera, yeah, that's why I don't have them at home. That's terrible internet at home.
Okay. 2022 insurance renewal in comparison.
Oh, sorry.
Mover, seconder.
I'll second.
Reading here, sorry.
I
Councilor
didn't want, I would have just.
Not that tone in your voice, Mr. Mayor.
We haven't talked about this, that's why I kept going.
Be it resolved that Council of Prince Township accepts the 2022 insurance proposal from Algoma Insurance as presented, total cost $54,642.92.
And when did it go up?
Not much, 2% or something, yeah.
Yeah.
No, not too much.
Any questions on this?
He was happy to tell us that.
Go ahead.
If you want, the very last sentence I like, I enjoyed reading, it said, I believe that the pricing for the terms of the initiative was a favorable outcome and nowhere near the anticipated increases discussed a month ago. So that was very good reading.
Yes. Okay, yeah. So you have, any other questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay. Let's see. Conservation Authority Council Representative. Decided to pull the plug and so.
Well, it's not that I really wanted to, because I really enjoy being on the Conservation Authority. But I am finishing my tender as chair as of February of this year. And I'm re-entering the world of work, which is going to interfere guaranteed with the hours that is expected for me to be at a conservation meeting. So I contacted our CEO and I mentioned it to her. And at the same time, I just looked at, I had a chat with Counselor Matthews to ask if he would be interested in the chair. And seeing if we can switch roles where I can take chair of the parent council or the Child Resource Center, sorry. And I asked if he would be interested in taking over the Conservation Authority chair. Only, not as chair, but only as our liaison. And he said he would be interested, and it's up to council to decide whether they'll accept that or not.
Okay, can I have a mover? You move it, Council Plumble, seconder.
Okay, we'll do it the other way. Be it resolved that Council Prince Township approves the change of council representatives as follows: Councillor Enzo Palumbo to take over Parent-Child Center Council Representative role, and Councillor Mike Matthews to take over as Conservation Authority, not chair, just
Not chair.
representative.
Not chair, no.
I got my copy.
You get your turn in a year. You'll get your turn in another year. Anybody got any questions on this? Okay, here's the resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay. User fees. Ooh.
I slid it in because I didn't think it'd be that long.
Oh. You need a mover? Seconder?
A second.
Council chambers. Be it resolved that Council Prince Township approves the changes to the user fee schedule for 2022.
We don't have, well, you don't have the, it's in here, the package for the marina costume.
Mhm.
Yeah, that'll help you, that's on.
That's
there
just a
too?
user fee. Yeah, that's the user fee. We also have, we'll have to have another, like, probably a special meeting for all the policies and procedures part of it. Or we
Okay.
could wait to do that too. I mean, I thought we'd be a little bit not so long today, so I stuck it in here to put up something.
Okay, user fees.
Sometime.
Questions on that? Anybody got any questions?
I looked at the other townships in the area and kind of just went through and got a general idea what everybody's expenses or charges were and kind of kept up to that.
Only problem is, there's a couple things that you have the fire permits going up.
Mhm.
There's the fire permits Going up quite a bit. We just raised it last year
Okay.
and it went from $10 to $20. Now you're gonna raise it again the second, every year. People are gonna, I don't know.
Okay.
I think-
That's all right. I know you
think
raised it last year. We could keep
We
it
raised
at
it
20
last
if you
year. I
want.
think that's high.
Okay.
We go back to 20. But the other thing else, we haven't raised for years, so.
Our cemetery prices were pretty much up to standards, except I don't know, like, we have to remit the HST for that, so I was surprised not to see HST had it. That's the only thing that I added for the burial was the HST cost.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the only thing I found, like, the prices were pretty much,
The plot was,
Yeah. yeah, they're the same, it's just that we added HST.
yeah. On the news, like business cards, you think $20 is gonna, think people are gonna advertise?
For a year, that's a year,
Oh, it's a year?
yeah.
Oh, okay. I was thinking,
And
oh, a year.
a business advertisement for a tax deduction.
No, I'm okay with that. How's this prices compared to the city? I don't wanna be as high as the city.
City is a little bit higher, but I don't use the city ever. When I do pricing, I always just use the small municipalities
Yeah,
on the outskirts, because it's not really comparable.
Yeah, okay, anybody got any other concerns?
Did you want to talk about the boat thing tonight, or should you want to wait till we do a special marina meeting? or-
Wanna talk about the fees now?
We can, I think it should be set along with the other fees, right? So
Yeah, we can talk. You have a breakdown of the fees?
Yep.
I'm gonna get my glasses off for this one.
our dockage is unserviced.
To be clear, is this attached to?
No,
We're not voting on the bowl at the same time.
we're talking
It's all
about fees,
user
it's all
fees,
the same.
It will be put,
It will be
yeah, it will be a
put in.
bylaw amendment. Once everything's approved, then it'll go to be an amendment to the bylaw for user fees.
Gotcha. Okay. When you're ready.
Anybody got any comments on this? Council Matthews?
I just need some clarification on it, because I was looking at it earlier, and I wasn't sure, but it says dockage unserviced per foot, this is right in the middle. Dockage unserviced per foot, $1.50. Boat slip week per foot, $6.50. So, and a boat slip a month per foot, $17.50. So it seems like they're getting a discount if they stay longer.
I believe there's only, I think what we're gonna have to do is figure out how many feet of dock we have.
We will have.
We will have, and I think there's a list of people that have been there that she's going to call first.
Okay.
So then we'll have to figure out the footage and where we're gonna put everybody. And if they want a whole season, it'll be this much per foot. I think we should maybe keep a certain percentage open for, what do you call them? Transients.
Well, for sure, there should be
The first
in my
dock.
mind, it should be seasonal rates.
The
Yeah.
first dock
And transit.
right there could be trans,
It might be bigger than what I figured. This is gonna be a big thing, I think.
but
But to make it fair, yeah, for the little area that we have, if we had lots of room, there'd be no problem, you know, everybody would show.
yeah, we don't have lots of room, and then you gotta look at if the boat's so big, it's gonna take up 2 docks.
Yeah,
So they're gonna have to pay double the fee.
and I don't think it should get cheaper the longer you stay.
This is gonna
We
be,
want to do tourism, we want people to come and have a good time, but I don't think they should, you're gonna make it their camp for all summer.
you pay, you get to stay.
Yeah, and it's more expensive as you stay longer, I would think only makes sense. Sure.
I think Wawa, if you look at the Wawa, they're about the cheapest all the way across.
They probably have a big area too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We want to
Well, you can't be too high. Because that's
They
not-
didn't want to give you the price, Marianne, or they just wasn't available when all these NAs?
Yeah, that, Leanne did all this, so I'm assuming
Okay.
that they don't have, yeah, they don't have that launch daily fees. Either that or they don't allow daily launches maybe.
Or they do allow it.
Now,
but
see,
charge-
daily launches, a lot of, is that just like a small, because most boat launches you don't pay, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah, if
in
you want
North
to
Shore,
say
we had,
Booster Buoyant or whatever.
You do pay.
we had
They do
like a
pay,
few
yeah.
boat launches and we never charged, Serpent River had a few boat launches. I don't ever recall charging.
But this is a marina.
True, it's a, but there, yeah, it's a marina.
This is
with
a
a
marina,
boat
they,
launch,
ones
yeah.
that are free, they're just
True.
place where you have a campground or
Yeah,
something,
you
you can
just
launch a
pull
boat
in,
for nothing.
yeah.
That-
It's all
But-
confusing as heck.
There's a boat launch in Haviland that you pay for.
They're all pretty well,
Is it an honor system, do you know?
Yes. Yes, it is.
we'll figure the pricing today and another future date soon, we'll have to figure out how we're gonna do it, collect it.
You know, sorry, if I can just add, last summer I spent a little time at the marina and I was just looking at different aspects of it all. And it was nice to see a lot of people coming to me saying they'd be willing to pay. People aren't afraid to pay when they have a good marina to go to launch their boat and have their vehicles be safe, so on and so forth. I don't think we should be too concerned about what we're going to charge. We have to be fair to the people. But, you know, we are investing time and energy into opening up a marina that everybody wants. And when, you know, you want something, you have to pay for whatever it is you're going to deliver.
Yeah.
On that note,
Matt, go ahead.
when you mentioned there, you don't wanna make it too expensive, I'm right with you on that, and like Councilor Womble says, we have to charge something. That's why I haven't got my mind wrapped around it just yet. I'm looking for help on how to do a prorated amount, so that, because the longer you stay, the more it charges. So somebody might show up for the weekend or a couple days, transients, as a tourist, and it wouldn't be that onerous on the pocketbook. But if somebody stays a week or 2 weeks, then maybe the price would be a little bit higher, and that would encourage people to be more tourists. I don't, and maybe that's all hooey. That's where my mind was going anyway.
I think we need a survey, sorry to interject there, Mr. Matthews.
Oh, I was done.
If we have a list of people who are already regular renters, we can survey them as to what they think would be a price that they're willing to pay for this new service.
I can tell you right now, because they already approached me, they want it for nothing.
I talked about this last time. I wanted to keep it for the constituents of Prince Township and then have the other towners come, but we have to be inviting to get them into Prince, to get them here to show them our beautiful municipality. This is gonna be a very long and drawn out debate, I believe.
Well, what, we gotta pick,
Well, we
Fair
could
one,
do it all the same and just do these ones for now. We could talk about this the night we do the marina. Does not have to be done.
Is
on-
that-
Excuse me,
Yeah. Because this is gonna be a long.
Is that on May on weekend opening? This coming quick.
if,
And we have to have
they're done, they might not be done.
Is it already tendered?
They're working on the docks right now, but they haven't worked on it for a month or more.
They mean,
Department of Fisheries and Oceans.
They contracted, they dredged it already,
yeah,
and they're working on the docks.
I'll have to drive down there again tomorrow.
There's a big payload to stop you from.
That was kind of going back to my comment earlier, if these were joined, because I think we should be able to pass the fee structure and have it come to you.
We can pass
And then
that.
talk about the
Mhm.
marina.
Yeah, we can take the marina off, yeah. That's what we'll do. We'll leave this with you.
Till March 8th, you're saying, Mr. Mayor?
Well, we're gonna have a special meeting on the marina.
Yeah, I think.
We can maybe do how big budget is on, we can do the same night as a budget meeting.
We have to remember, we have a fee that we have to pay annually.
Yeah, oh yeah, we know that.
Can I have, all in favor of taking the marina fees out of this one? All in favor of taking the marina? Carried. Okay. Be it resolved, that this council, Prince Township approves the changes to the user fee schedule for 2022. All in favor? Carried. Okay, resolution, sports, AMCO.
No, I got
Joint and several liability.
Mover, seconder? Seconder?
just listening to where we are, Mr. Mayor.
Whereas for years, AMCTO and other municipal associations and stakeholders have advocated for joint and several liability reform with successive provincial governments. And whereas in 2018, the Ford government announced a consultation and review of joint and several, and the sector has eagerly been awaiting a response from the Ministry of the Attorney General. And whereas, as outlined in AMCTO's local government priorities document, the need for reform is particularly necessary now, given the impact joint and several liability has had on increasing municipal insurance premiums, costs ultimately carried by the taxpayer. And whereas there is a short window of opportunity to encourage movement on this issue, as there are only a few months left in this government's mandate. Therefore, the Council of Prince Township supports AMCTO and calls on the Attorney General to support the following recommendations. The provincial government adopt a model of full proportionate liability to replace joint and several liability. Implement enhancements to the existing limitations period, including the outlined applicability of the existing 10-day rule on slip and fall cases, given recent judicial interpretations, and whether a 1-year limitation period may be beneficial. Number 3, implement a cap for economic loss awards. 4, increase the catastrophic impairment default benefit limit to $2 million and increase the third-party coverage to $2 million in government-regulated automobile insurance plans. 5, assess and implement additional measures which would support lower premiums or alternatives to the provision of insurance services by other entities such as nonprofit insurance reciprocals. 6, compel the insurance industry to supply all necessary financial evidence, including premiums, claims, and the deductible limit changes which support its rates, and municipal arguments as to the fiscal impact of joint and several liability. 7, establish a provincial municipal working group to consider the above and put forward recommendations to the Attorney General. Oh my goodness.
Okay, I don't know, do we,
I didn't
I'm gonna,
understand.
no.
Oh, no.
Oh, you're-
You lost me at 4.
okay, any questions on this? All in favor? Carried.
Aye.
I've
Oh,
seen,
did he freeze? Or is he just reading it? Oh, no, I can see you breathe. Okay, you're breathing, okay. You're breathing, I can see your chest moving.
Yeah.
Oh, another one.
Brentford. We need a mover and a seconder on this? In.
They're all
Seconder.
long-winded. Eh?
That's why I don't read them.
Okay, whereas cities and towns in Ontario have experienced a substantial increase in criminal activity, leaving residents fearful for their personal safety and losing confidence in the criminal justice system. And whereas the increase in criminal activity is due in part to the failure of the justice system to hold in pretrial custody many of the likely to reoffend individuals, including those who are in serious breach of prior bail conditions, a situation commonly referred to as the revolving door of justice. And whereas those involved in the justice system, from justices of the peace to those who have been arrested, acknowledge the catch and release bail system contributes to the increase in crime. One individual in particular who pled guilty to several break and enter charges, together with breaches of probation and release order charges, advised the court during sentencing that he had been arrested 8 times in the previous year and felt that the system bore responsibility for failing to keep him in custody, and that being released repeatedly without the appropriate supports made it all but impossible for him to discontinue the criminal activity he engaged in. And whereas concerns continue to be raised by businesses, post-secondary institutions, neighborhood associations, and citizens regarding the increased criminal activity. And whereas there is a pressing need for common sense bail reform that gives priority to the dignity and safety of victims over the well-being of criminals. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of Prince Township support the City of Brantford by forwarding this resolution to the Honorable David Lametti, Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Canada, insisting that steps be taken immediately by his government to strengthen the bail system, including imposing more demanding and stringent surety and supervision requirements, and imposing more substantive and effective consequences for continued breaches of a judicial interim release order, also known as bail, resulting in pretrial incarceration, which changes are required to safeguard law abiding citizens and to restore the citizens' faith in the system, and that the city clerk be directed to forward a copy of this resolution to the local member of parliament and member of provincial parliament, that the city clerk be directed to forward a copy of this resolution to St. Marie Police Services, AMO, and Federation of Canadian Municipalities, that the city clerk be directed to forward a copy of this resolution to the heads of all Ontario municipalities, and request that those municipalities consider adopting a similar resolution. I don't write these.
Lawyer, wherever you hear the word whereas, lawyer.
Questions? All in favor? All in favor? Carried.
I hope that passes.
Okay, old business?
Oh, there's one more, that working group, the addendum.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh. Oh, yeah, okay. Mover? Seconder?
I,
Be it resolved that the Council of Prince Township hereby approves joining the multi-municipal wind turbine working group.
Councilor Matthews?
What is that?
I believe that, remember we got those pictures of all those turbines that were on fire? This is a group of municipalities where there are turbines in their municipality that have a working group.
That windmill up Montreal River?
Yeah.
They tested the 33 windmills, 32 were no good, so they have to change all the blades off the windmill. My opinion is I don't think we need to go on for this.
I agree.
That's Thursday, the Zoom meeting's Thursday for that. If you want to go, I'm not, already have prior commitments.
I don't think, my opinion, they shouldn't have put windmills here in Prince Township. But that's my opinion.
I agree.
Okay. You heard the resolution? All in favor? Defeated.
May I ask a question, please?
Go ahead.
Regarding the windmills, does does the township still have a contract in place with this company?
No,
No?
we don't have a contract. Only thing we get from them is their taxes. Township.
What do you mean a contract in place with what company?
Oh, I don't know. I just thought there was some kind of a contract in place that they have to have in place for so many years. I wasn't sure. I was just wondering if there was any kind of a contract that we had in
No,
place.
it was a contract to allow them to put it in, but it wasn't a contract that they had to stay there. But they would have a contract with the government, with Brookfield saying they'd have to be there so many years.
Okay, thank you.
Old business, I got on this old business is, the roll-up doors will be going up either Wednesday or Thursday. So that'll be off our list of old business. Councilor Matthews.
Apologize, I rummaged through my papers. Did we cover 13D?
Yeah, the insurance renewal?
Insurance quote summary? Yeah, and the assistant clerk's concerns?
Yeah.
I think when we voted for this package, we took care of the concerns, didn't we? Because that's how I see it. Yeah, so she's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, they were, it was really, if they still, she still hasn't gotten a quote from them. They're just throwing everything at us that they can to get us to spend a lot more time.
But us passing this is taking that off.
Pretty much, yeah.
Good.
Okay.
And
anything
you
else?
said
or
it
no?
went down, right, Marianne?
Pardon me?
The quote went down, you said. Has to,
Big time.
that's why. I
Oh, yes, big time, yeah.
Big time.
That's Marianne's new name now, big time. She gets everything done big time.
Okay.
Oh, that was a great
Mary
job.
Ann's my new name, actually. Just kidding.
You want to bring
Very
anything,
I'm just kidding.
you want to bring anything? else?
Oh.
Anybody else have any questions about anything on the
Anything about
list?
the old business?
Keep calling her back. So.
Okay, wait, next,
Oh, we're good?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Oh, that's it?
that's it. Need bylaw for,
Mover and seconder?
Well, maybe one thing.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe just the doorbell for the early on center, that was a concern for the office staff, but it was, do we really need people? Do we need quotes and everything for that? I mean, some of the-
I can't even get anybody to come and give us anything.
well, the
I've been
door,
calling.
if they lift the restrictions pretty soon, the door's gonna be open anyway.
Okay, because I mean, we should get on with that.
We don't need
They
to-
voiced their concern a while ago.
Yeah, I can't even find I've called about 3 electrical, I can't even get anybody to come and give me a look, to look.
Okay.
No,
It's
Oh,
terrible.
that's
I
tough.
don't know where you're gonna call for the kitchen,
DC
when we have to
communication.
take all those, like, we gotta take that whole big thing off the ceiling. And then,
Tough.
I don't even know who to call for that, I don't think that's part of, like, Donnie can do that.
I'll talk to Don,
That's- I don't know,
maybe we can get it down.
that's a big thing, and then,
Okay.
the ceiling.
That's the only big
Yeah.
Something, right?
What do we have to get done?
I'll show you after, exhaust fan.
Anything else anybody could?
Anything
say?
else?
We'll get it done.
Yeah, I guess that'll be redundant once we do open the doors, then we won't need to worry about that. You know,
Time you got the doorbells. and-
true, by the time I get any quotes, yeah.
And they're lifting restrictions at the end of the month more.
Do you think that would be in that $100,000 umbrella?
There you
You
go.
know, because it's COVID
That's a good
related.
idea,
Yeah.
because that's where we actually put the call button when we first got it, was a COVID
Oh,
grant, so.
I'm on your side.
Okay,
Councilor Matthews, and we need a seconder.
that's, what do you call this? Bylaw? It's a bylaw for,
Be it resolved that the Council of Prince adopt bylaw 2022-04, being a bylaw to adopt, ratify, and confirm the action of council for February 8th, 2022.
so this is mandatory?
Yeah.
That just covers our butt in case it kind of says we hereby cover the whole meeting.
All in favor? Carried. Okay. Mover, where's that? Close, mover, seconder.
Close. I'd like to. Oh, my goodness.
Be it resolved, the Council of Prince Township hereby adjourns at
8:18.
8:18 until March 8th, or at the call of the chair. Can we decide a budget meeting date after this?
Yeah, before we close, I guess we should do a budget date.
Let me see now.
Probably not Friday.
Well, then I won't be available on February 17th.
Don't
Well, I
anybody,
could do
don't
Friday.
anybody say the 14th.
Wednesday.
Hang on,
Yeah.
I got a couple meetings coming up.
Yeah, 17th to
Well, it's public meeting, I could bring it.
February the 14th?
Don't say the 14th, because I'm not getting in trouble from anybody's wives.
No. Okay,
16th
my son's coming, I might have to take him
What's
off.
going on that day?
on the when?
On the 17th, I
Very
got,
cool
I got to
17th.
in, ESAT board.
What?
Okay, so 16th, your son's
You
coming
might
in?
want to miss
Yeah.
that.
What about the 15th?
I got a meeting.
16th, your son's coming
Oh,
in.
How was it?
21st?
How about the 21st,
21st is family day. I don't know that matters.
that's stat.
22nd.
22nd? Everybody okay on the 22nd to do budget?
22nd of February. I have Labor Council.
Is there anybody that can start early? Can we start earlier, or is that there? No, you get home that, okay.
Or you can't make it then, that,
What time are we saying, starting?
6:30?
no,
No?
usually you can't
I'm
make it.
at Labor Council the last Tuesday of the month.
Okay, shall we try the Wednesday,
Running
the
for-
23rd?
How about Wednesday?
How about Wednesday and,
Wednesday.
Councilor Chambers, could we start a budget meeting a little earlier and then you show?
Okay.
I know we've done that once before, but.
It won't be
Is
open.
6:30 okay?
No.
I'm not going anywhere.
Just 15 minutes?
On the 23rd.
23rd.
Sorry, I'm not available the 23rd.
24th?
It's a Wednesday.
It's a Thursday?
I'm good, 24th.
I'm having a procedure on the 24th, I definitely won't be here.
How about we go back to the 17th on a Thursday and we have it at 6 now, and obviously my conservation authority meeting should be almost done by then. Is everybody okay for the 17th on a Thursday,
I'm good.
What about 6:30? What time's your concert?
6:30?
6:30?
6:30?
6:30 on the 17th? Okay.
Is that budget?
Because we're getting too late, so.
Not August yet.
And, I mean, I don't know, did you think of what month maybe we should start talking about the marina? What should we?
Let's, at the budget meeting, everybody should have enough time to look at the fees.
Can you do a survey monkey
I'll send, can I do a survey monkey? I sure can, about,
about the marine fees?
what would you like to see?
I
Kind
don't
of
know.
question, okay,
Yeah, but it's just,
okay.
We'll probably go lowest fees, so send out the fee structure of a couple of them, the low ones, and ask people what they think about it.
yeah, 30-foot things take the fall of it.
Okay. One more thing, here we go.
I told you last
We
week.
can talk.
Oh, I'll send the policies and procedures and everything out ahead of time and everything, so you can
We can
have a
have
good
it
look
from-
about everything and
We can
then,
have it on the budget night.
Yeah.
Should look at it.
okay. Perfect. Oh, did you say all in favor?
Okay. Be resolved. Huh?
I made one.
Be resolved that this town, Prince Township hereby adjourn at 8:18 until March the 8th, 2:02, or to call the chair. We'll call the chair on the 17th. All in favor?
Yeah,
Carried.
we have a closed, closed tonight.
No. That's
No.
like a record one in a row.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Awesome. Good night.
That's it? I just wondered.
All right, everybody good?
This is all.
So do this extra just in case.
We're done.
You want to see downstairs?
I'm gonna tell you as soon as I hire that.
Night.
See you, Enzo, where are
See you
you?
later, guys. Have a good night.
Where are you working?
Oh, he got out.
She cut him off.
No, he got out.
No,